Hello everyone, Abdulkas here. Many people sort of failed at mathematics, but not really because they are not good at maths, but because they don't understand the English behind the mathematics. So let's use something like algebra, for example. Now, algebra is one of the branches of mathematics that if you are actually good at it, will help you in many other aspects of mathematics. Now, this is how algebraic notation is: ax squared plus bx minus c is equal to 0, where the a, b, c are the constants, or in some cases, they are the coefficients. The x is the variable. Now, you can see the English that I'm using now can be a bit confusing. So let me use pidgin to explain it. Wetin this thing mean be say we don't already get answer, and we know say the answer now 0, and we know say we get 5x, we got x squared, but we no know wetin that x be. So wetin this question they talk be say e get something where if you times am by himself, that's what x squared means. Whenever you see anything squared, it means that thing times itself. So we have a number times itself. That number na x, we call them x, but that x times himself, meaning x squared. All right? Then minus 5 times that same x, which we don't know yet, plus 4. The answer is 0 if we calculate it, but we don't know what that x is. But we know that there's a number, but if we calculate all of this thing, the answer is going to give us 0. So it's like a puzzle. We already know the answer, but we don't know the number. So there's a missing link. And that missing link is what we call x, and that x is not the variable. Variable means it is the thing that can be anything. We don't know what it is, and that's why it is variable. So x is our variable. What I want you to get is not just about knowing how to solve it, it's understanding the language, the philosophy behind it. So x is a variable because we don't know the answer, we don't know what it is. The 2 and the 4 and the 5 and any number that you see, they are constants because we already know them, so they are not our problems. Now, but if you now see something like 2x squared or 2x or 5x, apart from the fact that the 5 and that 2, they are also constants, they can also be called the coefficient of x, meaning the value of x. For example, if you see x, that's a variable, isn't it? But if you see 2x, meaning we have 2 pieces of that variable. So the 2 is the coefficient of the x. I'm using this word so that I'm able to just make you understand what they mean. It's not really about just calculating something. And the language is what I want you to get. Because if you get the language, all of a sudden maths start to become very simple. It starts to become more of English. Because we have this mentality as if maths is another thing. Maths is actually English. It's just a question. Just like any person is going to ask you a question. Now, x squared minus 5x plus 4 is equal to 0. Let's go back to primary 1. Do you know that this equation that you're seeing is something that they taught us in primary 1? Do you remember when they were teaching you 1 plus 1 is 2? All right? That's normal equation. Then later on they started saying 1 plus box is 2. Fill in the box. That's algebra. Because they are telling you that we already know the answer. The answer is 2 and we know 1, which is our constant. But now we have this box, which is our variable, because we don't know what it is. It can be anything. So 1 plus box is equal to 2. What is in the box? And even as children, we were clever enough to know that, yeah, the box should be 1 because 1 plus 1 is going to give us 2. So now let's still use the same language, but this time around with our primary 1 examples. Let's say I have 1 plus box is equal to 5. It means that we know we have 1, and then we know we have box plus another of the same box, because the box has to be the same number, and it is 5. So our variable is the box. What is in the box? What will be in the box? 2, because 1 plus 2 is equal to 5. So now our variable, which is the box now, is 2. So the answer is 2. Because we already know the answer to be 5 in the equation, but we don't know our variable. And our variable is what we always look for in the equation. All right? So I hope you're getting now the English of the mathematics. So, but this, remember that in this equation, we have 2 pieces of the variable. So the coefficient of that variable is 2. I seen it. Now I'm not talking about the answer of the variable, because definitely the answer is 2. Let me change the equation so that you get it better. Let's say what we have is 1 plus box is equal to 7. So it means we have 1 plus box and another box gives us 7. So what will be in that box? The thing that will be in that box is 3, because 3 plus 3 then plus that our 1 makes 7. So that makes the equation work. It means yeah, it's perfect. So algebra is that way of trying to perfect something or find the missing puzzle, something like that. So in this case, our variable is the box, isn't it? But how many pieces of box do we have in this case? Now, is it not 2 pieces of box? So the 2 pieces of box means that our coefficient to that variable is 2, because we have 2 pieces of the box. The box is the variable because it's what we don't know and we're trying to figure out what it is. So that is an algebraic equation that you actually doing in primary 1, but you didn't know. What is the constant? 1. Actually, even the coefficient is still regarded as the constant. As far as they are numbers, they are constant. So another way we can also write this question is to say, okay, 1 plus 2 box, because we have 2 box, instead of saying 1 plus box, why can't we just say 1 plus 2 box? Isn't that easier for us? It's equal to 7. The same thing, all right? So 1 plus 2 box is equal to 7. What is the box? Our variable, because we don't know what it is. What is the 2? The coefficient of that variable. You can also say the constant, but I like the coefficient because it means it's the value of that variable. So now, instead of saying 1 plus 2 box feels, like too elementary, isn't it? So why not we change the variable to x? You see, that sounds Cambridge. So now what we have, 1 plus 2x is equal to 7. Are you seeing it now? So that 1 plus 2x is equal to 7. Just by removing the box and putting the x, now we're doing algebra. But by putting the box back, then we're doing elementary 1, mathematics. 1 plus box is equal to 2. What is in the box? Teacher me, is 1. Okay, 1 plus box is equal to 6. What is in the box? Teacher me, is 5. What am I trying to do? I'm only trying to give you the language of the mathematics, because most times people fail at maths, not really because they don't know maths, but because they don't know the English behind the maths. They don't know the philosophy. They don't even know what the question is. So how will they know the answer? Do you know that if we go back to the former equation, x squared minus 5x plus 4 is equal to 0, and they say find x, meaning find the variable. If let's say this is an objective test and I have options A, 2, B, 3, C, 5, whatever. If I carry any of those options and put it in the place of x, I say x squared, meaning x times x, minus 5x minus 5 times that same x, plus 4 is equal to 0. If the first option in my objective is 2, I carry 2 and say, okay, 2 times 2, which is x squared now, minus 5 times 2 plus 4. Will it give me 0? If it doesn't give me 0, A is not my answer. I carry B. This thing can be as simple as fast. I can do it without even getting to know how to use almighty formula, all of those things. But because I understood the philosophy, I know exactly what they are asking me. And since this is objective test, so they are not telling me to use a particular formula to solve it, I can actually answer it without even knowing how to solve it the traditional way. Or which one should be traditional? I think my own is the traditional way, the formal way. So, but I can do it the gargagia way. When you understand the philosophy of mathematics, it's not only going to make you know how to solve these things, it is actually going to be very intriguing. Oh my God, look at what they're asking me. I must find this answer. It's like playing a video game. It's so beautiful that you actually find it fascinating, not just that, oh, maths is like torture. No, it's actually a beautiful thing. So I hope this has given some value. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.